So people that think that you need a 780 or better in order to purchase a home, we wouldn't have very many homes sold at that point, and we wouldn't be getting people approved. Hello, my name is Ken Grazak. I am a certified mortgage advisor right here in Bloomington, Minnesota. It is 2024, and I am getting lots of phone calls about two big myths that we always have to overcome on the lending side. Number one, buyers still think that they need to have 20% down, and number two, buyers think they need to have a 780 credit score or better in order to purchase a home. And in this video, I'm going to talk about both of those myths and just explain, kind of using data, what's happening in this current market. Now, I don't know why this comes up all the time, but a recent Fannie Mae survey shows that a third of all home buyers that they surveyed thinks that they need to have a down payment of 20% or more in order to buy a home. This myth remains one of the biggest barriers to home ownership because a lot of buyers think that they need that 20% down payment. A second survey taken by NeighborWorks talks about how 63% of home buyers, if they only knew about the different home mortgage programs that are out there for them to finance a property, would be more likely to go from a renter to a buyer. 62% in this survey wanted to know more about down payment assistance. 59% in that survey wanted to know more about first-time homebuyer programs. And 55% of that survey wanted to just get an idea of some coaching or assistance on how they can purchase a home because they wanted to get an idea of how to get on that road to home ownership. I have a really good program that I have my clients use that if you're interested in looking at it, feel free to message me back. It allows buyers to build their readiness when they're purchasing a home. So that 55% that was surveyed that didn't know or needed coaching, they can actually go online and they can use this program. They can do it on their own time. And if, as they get to specific milestones, they can let me know where they're at, and I can go and I can help them. They see everything. I don't see anything unless they let me see it. And I think that's a great tool for buyers that are thinking about purchasing a home that don't know where to start and would like to have some of that coaching without having a loan officer breathing down their neck to do a mortgage. Now, getting back to the 20% down, while it does kind of make it a little bit more affordable by putting 20% down to avoid that private mortgage insurance, the issue you're going to run into is while you're trying to save to get that 20% down, you are fighting appreciation. So that becomes the biggest part of if you want to purchase with 20% down, but you don't have the 20% and you're saving it, what's happening is homes are appreciating year over year. So if you're not going to purchase now because you're trying to wait to save the 20%, it might be a good idea for you to take a moment and get an idea of what you can qualify for a first-time homebuyer program. Just recently, the National Association of Realtors had posted that the median down payment in 2023 for all first-time homebuyers was 8%, and the median down payment for second home buyers was 19%, both being under 20%. The crazier fact in this is if you take the down payment for both the secondary and the first-time home buyers, you have to go all the way back to 1989 when all buyers were at 20%. So thinking that you have to have the 20% down now is a great goal, but at the same point, you want to make sure that saving up for that down payment of the 20% doesn't affect your affordability of the home that you're buying. If it's going to take you 5 years to save the 20% up, but you're going to gain over that 5 years 3 to 5% or 10%, whatever it's going to be over the next 5 years of appreciation, you might end up losing money by having to wait. So it's important to talk to a lender. It's important to talk to a real estate agent to understand what your options are, even if you think that you're not going to make that 20% for the down payment. Now, there's several loan programs that you can get into where there's a minimum down payment. And if you look at conventional, you can get in as little as 3 to 5%, FHA is as little as 3.5%. There are programs like USDA, or if you're a veteran, the VA program where it's 0 down. Some jumbo programs, so if you get into those bigger homes, it's 10% down. They're all under 20%. I keep hitting home that 20% is what's required. But as you can see, all these different programs are requiring 10% or less down. So it's important to have that conversation if you want to find that path to home ownership, to understanding what options you might have. Now, for most programs, when you put less than 20% down, there is mortgage insurance. So it's PMI, private mortgage insurance. And that seems to be the thing that trips people up. So yes, you will have to carry the mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance has actually gotten fairly inexpensive. And there again, that's another, if you've got an idea what your credit score is, if you've got an idea of what your debts on credit, and what your income is, you can get that figured out fairly quickly on a quick phone call to a loan officer. But you shouldn't hold off because you're gonna have to pay an extra $50 a month just to hold off on waiting to build that 20% down, because you're gonna build the equity over time. All right, so the second big hurdle that people have is the credit score. While putting money down is extremely important for what type of program that you can get into, credit scores and credit monitoring is a big piece as well. And that's obviously a piece that you're gonna wanna talk to your loan officer about as you're getting ready and prepared to get on that path to homeownership. But a lot of people think that you need to have a 780 credit score or better. Now, there was a report that came out that said that the median credit score last year of people that took out mortgages was a 70 credit score. So that's underneath the 780 credit score. And if you go to another report that I saw online, the report was from Wallet Hub, 2023, the average credit score was a 715. Keep in mind, median credit score and average credit score are actually different, but the key to this is you don't have to have perfect credit, 780 credit in order to purchase a home. There are programs that will allow less credit. FHA will allow you to get down to a 550 credit score. VA allows you to get down that low. Conventional 620. USDA, you're gonna get approved probably around 620. Those are programs that you can get involved with without having to worry about credit score. Even if you were to get a jumbo loan, which is a little tougher on credit, you're still gonna be able to find programs where you can get into like the 670, 680s to purchase a home. Now, I've got a couple of numbers here that I pulled from Experian. If you're trying to get an idea of where you're at, very good is 740 to 799. Good is 670 to 739. Fair is 680 to 679. Poor is 350 to 579. So if you're trying to get an idea where your credit score sits, and anybody that's 580 or above should be okay getting a mortgage as long as you're putting money down. When you get below 580, it becomes a little more difficult, but you could still get that depending on what the down payment is. Now, just because I was curious about it, the average score based upon age, according to Wallet Hub, 18 to 26-year-olds are averaging about 680, 27 to 42-year-olds is a 690, 43 to 58-year-olds is a 709, 59 to 77 is a 745, and 78 and above is a 760. All these scores are below a 780. So people that think that you need a 780 or better in order to purchase a home, we wouldn't have very many homes sold at that point, and we wouldn't be getting people approved. The key to all this is if you're looking to purchase a home, talk to a realtor, talk to a professional loan officer. It doesn't have to be a certified mortgage advisor like myself. It can be somebody that understands the market. Ask them where you need to be at for down payment. You don't need to be 20% down. You don't have to have a 780 credit score, but you do need to get an idea of what it's going to look like. You want to base it upon your budget to make sure that the payment's going to match your budget. If you got any questions about this, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. I'm right here in Bloomington, Minnesota, and I love helping people down this path of homeownership and getting to that path to homeownership. Sometimes it takes people 6 months. Sometimes it takes people only a couple of weeks. Sometimes it takes people a couple of years. I'm here to help with that. Let me know how I can help. Bye for now.